say the word, the Lord. And that's why it's so easy. Like you talked about the fruit of the spirit, which is one of which is self-control. You cannot have self-control and have faith and understand really where you stand. That's why it's so easy for you to become angry, to trying to do so many great. So he was trying to do a lot when it would have been easier to just follow Christ. I'm like, when people try so much, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, why are you trying so many different things? Like one thing is needed. Like,
right. Like I remember
to Mary and Martha.
Right. I remember towards the end of our marriage, when I was done, I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that I was leaving.
Yeah.
I used to sit next to him in church. So I started sitting like 4 or 5 chairs away from him. And that made him so angry. He said, what will people say? You know, people are watching you sitting all the way over there. And I say, you have invested so much into protecting this image, right? Well, you could just use that same strength, right, to be the man that you want people to think you are. Right? Because if we're not sitting together at home, why do you want me to sit next to you?
Exactly.
In public, because you want people perception of you. You have painted this picture, this image, and you're willing to do everything to protect it, right? Well, you could just become that.
Yeah.
You
don't need the fakery. You just have to focus. I was like one of those kids. That's why when people come, like I've had in the last 15 years, I've had, wicked people. I call them wicked because they're wicked, trying to project wickedness on me, saying like, oh, you are not diligent enough. You are not this enough. And I'm like, no. I know Gabrielle. Gabrielle is the type of person from day one. When I heard the word and I heard what it said, I said I was going to follow. And from day one, I've been very diligent. That's why my teachers, she took me to her country, her husband. The reason that, because even when I was in high school, I was like, if my teachers tell me to do something, I just do it. Why do I need to do something else?
Yes.
Chaos in my life. My parents tell me to do something, I just do it.
You do it.
Whatever I was told to do, if it makes sense. Especially when I was reading the word, and the word is mirror. That's why I'm so grounded in the word. It's mirror to me. And when I'm reading it, it says, just do what it says.
Just do. Exactly.
And you don't need to fake it.
No, you don't need to.
Yeah, that doesn't mean we're all perfect. We have sinned.
We are not perfect.
Nobody's perfect. We fall down and we get up. We've sinned. And we have to, we have to be justified, right? Just as if we have never sinned. That's what justification is. Like the you're not guilty. Not that you're innocent, but you're not guilty.
Right.
But, we've all been there. But at the end of the day, for someone to claim to be a minister and be so worried about what it looks like at church and not be concerned about what it looks like at your first ministry.
Your first, which is your family.
Watching you. Yeah.
The girls are watching, and like you said, your first ministry, and the girls are watching. There was an incident after I left, and he was visiting the girls. I shared with you this yesterday. He was visiting with the girls, and they were having a conversation. They were having dinner, I think, at a restaurant or something. And he said to them, "Your mom is a liar. She lied about me. She said that I'd abused her, and I never did." And they looked at him and they said, but we saw you. And they started describing what he was doing. They said, we saw you punching her. We saw you grabbing her by the foot and pulling her to another room. We saw you doing all these things. And when they said that to him, he lowered his head and he just looked down. They're watching. Yeah. This is our first ministry, our children. They are watching. I cannot stand and preach and try to save the world while I'm a monster to my children, while I'm a bad example to my children. I have gone to the extreme of not dating. I shared with you before, I've gone to the extreme of not dating because I'm looking to protect my children. I'm looking to be an example, because when you are dating, you might not end up with the right person immediately. So you might go, did this one and that one and that one, and Lord knows how long it might take for me to find the right one. And I don't want my children to confuse that and be like, okay, mom is out here every day, different, I'm trying to.
But I think you have to be, I totally about, you gotta be strategic, and also you have to pray over that, because the same God who got you out of that abusive relationship, I do believe has the power and the desire and the desire to bring you the right relationship. Because we are having this conversation today because it's the last Wednesday of Women's History Month, and we wanted to highlight the fact that women have to go through so much, and men as well go through domestic violence, but women in particular. And it's very important that we understand that there is a way out. It
There is
doesn't
a way
matter
out.
if you're a believer, it doesn't matter if you're Christian, it doesn't matter if you're a pastor, minister, a sister, it doesn't matter who you are. And it doesn't matter what class. If you are like high school or no high school or PhD, you name it, it doesn't matter. You could be
You can find yourself, yes, in this
an abusive situation. It's very
Yes,
important that you find ways out, find sisters, find community, pray
yes.
about it if you're a person of faith, to get out. Because at the end of the day, your story will be powerful enough to impact somebody else's life. And I believe your story tonight, Lydia, that's the reason we wanted to have this conversation. And we wanted to say, you know what, if you know a woman right now who's going through this, can you give them a few pointers, like a few things that they could do right now to get out of where they at and find help?
Okay. So yeah, first of all, if you're in this situation right now, I'm very sorry that you're going through this, and I completely understand your struggle and your pain. There's so many resources out there. If you can go online and type domestic violence, you will find phone numbers, you will find website, and if you call, reach out to them, they will communicate, they will guide you through this process. Do not be afraid. That's one. Number two, as they are guiding you through the process, I want you to believe them, and I want you to do as they say. They're experts. They've been doing this for years. They have done a lot of studies in this area, and it's okay to trust them. And some of the things they might tell you to do, for example, they might tell you to press charges, right? Do not hesitate, because when you press charges, it means that person is being taken, and they will start the process of protecting you. And when you do that, it will make your escape shorter and easier, right? I will give an example. It happened to me when I went to write the police report, and I was talking to the detectives. They did ask me, they say, do you want to press charges? I think you should press charges. And I said, no, I just want to leave. I just want to leave. I just want to leave. For whatever reason, I refused to do that. That haunted me, because he kept coming back. He did not leave me alone. He hunted me down. By the grace of God, I got the Lord, through the Lord in his miraculous way, he got rid of, he removed him. He's in a different country right now. Another friend of mine, a lady that I met, she happened to be going through the same thing, and she confided in me. And I told her, yeah, whatever they tell you to do, do. Okay, when you meet with the lawyers, when you meet with the police, whatever they tell you to do, do. And lo and behold, they told her that she needs to press charges. And she came to me and said, I don't want to press charges. I said, you must press charges. If you don't, this process is going to be longer, and he's going to give you a harder time. And so she did what I did. She refused. She did not press charges. And he did exactly what I told her he would do. And so yeah, to make this process shorter and painless, please listen to these police who are guiding you. Listen to the lawyers who will be in place to help you go through this, and follow what they are telling you to do. It is crucial that you do what they say to do.
Yeah. And for you, it's been since 2016, you've been out of that situation and had to move.
Yeah, actually, I left in 2015 somewhere. Yes, I physically left that home in 2015. So yeah, it's been a long time, and I have bounced back. I'm still recovering in a way, but where I am right now if somebody would have told me when I was in that place, I like to call it Egypt, I would have never believed it. If somebody would have said you would leave, you would go and you will have your own home, you will live with your children in peace, you will have plenty of food, you will have plenty of resources, you will have strangers coming to your rescue, people you've never met willing to see you succeed, you will have people offering scholarships to pay for Ivy League school, for you to go to an Ivy League school, I would have never believed it. But it happened. And I'm not the only one this has happened to. The Lord has placed an army before you, just like he had, and I'm praying that you will see this and realize, because I saw the same grace that I had received. I am praying the same grace for you, that the army that was before me, that came to my rescue in so many ways. Some people were just there to comfort me and give me words of encouragement. Some people were there to help me financially, and some people were there to guide me and tell me this is the right form you need to fill. I pray that the Lord will show up in ways that you have never imagined. And when you look back, you will not believe it. You will not believe it. Nobody could have prepared me for the amount of grace and the amount of peace and the amount of resources that are at my disposal.
Correct.
Yeah.
And God is a good God, because the word says he will commend the angels concerning you.
Yes.
To guard you in all your ways.
Yes.
No disaster shall come near your tent. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I always say, Lydia, it doesn't matter what it looks like, what it smells like, what it feels like. God is still God, and he will commend his angels concerning you. So I wanted to share your story today because I know it's a triumphant story. Yes, you've gone through so much. We all have. And we are standing here, but by the grace of God.
Amen.
And I would like to tell somebody who's watching, who's saying, like, I'm in this situation, nobody's going to come to rescue me. Or I'm too ashamed of what's happening to me. I cannot share with anybody. Yes, you can. You just have to muster the gut. You know, it happens in all communities, every socioeconomic status. It doesn't matter where you are in life. It could happen to you. Yes. I know I have my own experience that I could share with you, but one day we'll do that. You had mentioned that you wanted to write a book. I think a book will be a powerful thing because we don't have enough time here. We didn't have enough time.
We
powerful
don't.
Opportunity to have other people read the details, you know, like details of your story. Please, if you're watching this show and you like it, tag, share, make a comment. Let people know that we are here every Wednesday and we are sharing powerful stories and we're giving guidance, light. We are light in the darkness. Amen. And we would like for you to share that light.
Amen.
Yeah, Lydia, thank you so much. Any last parting word that you'd like to share before we say goodnight tonight?
Thank you so much for having me here. And I would like to thank everybody that I was able to watch, or anybody who is going to see this this show. And I pray that it will help us. And actually, we talked about men also. I want men to be involved in this kind of conversations, because most of the time men are not aware, because these things, if a man is abusing a spouse, it is the women who are experiencing this, right? In a marriage between a husband and wife, it is a woman who's experiencing it. So most men are not aware of that violent side of a man towards a woman. So I want you to believe these women. I want you to listen to them, and I want you to be a voice when you're speaking to your fellow brothers or friends. Speak up against such things so that you can. One of the things a friend of mine told me, her husband had met up with my husband then when I was leaving, because my husband wanted to talk to him and plead his case. And so he met up with him and they had a conversation, and he came back and told his wife, who is my friend, that I came to a conclusion that he was surrounded by people of the same mindset. And if he was surrounded by people like my friend's husband, or people who think differently, who do not believe in abusing women, his life would have turned out differently. So yeah, share, speak up, and encourage men to be surrounded by positive men who think positively. Yeah.
And get out, get help.
get out and get help.
Your life matters. My sister was in like, how come you didn't use matters this today? Well, we wanted to say Lydia, her life, her triumphs. But guess what? Your life matters, and you need to go ahead and make sure that you maximize your life by living your best life, so to speak. You know, it's cliche, but it is. And being in an abusive relationship, being an abusive anything, is not living your best life.
It's not
God's plan for you. He has plans to prosper you and not harm you, to give you hope in the future. So go get that hope in the future.
Amen.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a blessed night.